She sold her soul the night she sold her mother's love. Before that night, Nekem had been her mother's pride, the first girl in their family to ever travel abroad. Mama Ada had sold her farmland, her jewelry, even her late husband's radio, all so that her daughter could have a better life. "Go and shine for me, my child," she said, pressing a small wooden cross into Nekem's hand. "Don't forget who you are." At the airport, Nekem cried as they hugged. But deep down, she swore to herself that she would never live the same poor life her mother had endured. At first, she tried. She joined a church, dressed modestly, and prayed every morning before class. She sent her mother messages filled with gratitude, calling her my angel on earth. But months later, things began to change. The cold foreign nights, the endless bills, the loneliness, they all began to eat her alive. Her classmates mocked her long skirts and simple shoes. "You dress like my grandmother," one laughed. Another asked, "Are you allergic to enjoyment?" Nkem laughed it off at first, but slowly her laughter started sounding like theirs. She began dressing like them, speaking like them, moving like them. Her mother noticed the change in her photos, the makeup, the new friends, the strange smiles. One night, Mama Ida called, "My daughter, are you praying?" "Yes, Mama." Nkem lied, her eyes fixed on the nightclub lights through her window. It wasn't long before her focus shifted from school to survival. She followed her friends to parties, met men who promised quick money, and learned how easily the world could be bought if only she stopped caring about what her mother would think. The day she first sold her body, she didn't cry. She told herself, "It's just once," but once became twice, twice became habit, and habit became hunger. By the time her visa was renewed, she was no longer the same girl who had left home. Back in Nigeria, Mama Ada still prayed every dawn, "Wherever my child is, Lord, protect her." She didn't know her prayers were now fighting against her own daughter's choices. Then, when the street jobs failed and her beauty began to fade, Nkem turned to a darker path, Yahoo. Her friends were making thousands, traveling, driving cars, living free. She wanted that freedom too. But no matter how hard she tried, nothing worked. Her accounts kept freezing, her deals fell apart, her clients vanished without payment. That was when she met Cynthia. Cynthia was one of those girls who never seemed to suffer. She always had money, designer bags, and men at her feet. One night, Nkem broke down before her. "Why is everything I touch failing?" she cried. Cynthia smiled slowly. "Because you're using clear eyes, my dear." Cynthia's smile lingered in the dim light of the bar, sharp enough to cut through Nenkem's confusion. "Clear eyes cannot see wealth," she whispered. "If you want big money, you must close the eyes of innocence." Nenkem swallowed hard. "What does that even mean?" Cynthia leaned closer, her perfume thick with danger. "It means," she said slowly, "you need backing, spiritual backing. No one gets rich online with ordinary hands." Those words burrowed into Nenkem's chest like a hook. She was tired. Tired of trying, tired of failing, tired of watching others rise while she sank deeper into desperation. "Please, help me," Nenkem whispered. Cynthia's smile widened. "I thought you'd never ask." They traveled at dawn. A long, silent road stretched before them as the car moved deeper into the outskirts of the city. The farther they drove, the heavier Nenkem's chest became. At some point, the smooth road ended, and a narrow, dusty path began. The trees leaned inward like eavesdroppers, swallowing the sun. "Where are we?" Nenkem asked. "Where destinies are rewritten," Cynthia replied. They stopped before a small, crooked hut surrounded by red earth and silence. An old man stepped out, his eyes clouded like smoke but sharp enough to pierce bone. Without a word, he studied Nenkem from head to toe. "You have come to seek what your hands cannot earn," he said. Nenkem shivered. I just want success." He nodded once. Then he turned and entered the hut, expecting them to follow. Inside, candles burned in strange colors. Masks hung from the walls, watching. A small pot bubbled on fire, though no one stirred it. The old man sat before her. "Your path is blocked," he said, "not by enemies, but by sacrifice." Cynthia placed a reassuring hand on Nenkem's shoulder, but Nenkem's body had already begun to shake. "What sacrifice?" she asked. The old man stared into the pot. "It is written," he murmured, "that your blessing is tied to someone who loves you fiercely, too fiercely. Her spirit shields you from every charm, every deceit, every invocation. Nenkem blinked, confused. I don't understand. The person who loves you the most must be removed. Nenkem's heart stilled. Removed how? The man didn't blink. Use her. The room felt like it swallowed all the air. Nenkem shot to her feet. Use who? Use what? Who are you talking about? The old man's voice didn't waver. Your mother. The world snapped in half. Nenkem staggered back as if struck. Tears burned her eyes instantly. Not from love, because she had not called her mother in months, but from memory. She saw her mother's hands selling everything. Her mother's smile sending her off. Her mother's prayers whispered every dawn. No, Nenkem whispered. I can't. Cynthia pulled her aside. Listen to me, she hissed. Everybody sacrifices something. Why do you think I have money? Why do you think others blow overnight? We all choose our future over our past. Nenkem shook her head violently, but her heart trembled. You said you want to change your life, Cynthia continued. This is the price. Wealth does not come to people like us unless something bigger dies. The old man watched silently, waiting. The candles flickered like hungry mouths. All night Nenkem cried, not because she loved her mother. That love had grown distant, dusty, forgotten, but because she remembered the woman who had emptied her whole life for her. She paced, she screamed, she prayed, she cursed, but dawn came anyway, and with it, her decision. She returned to the old man with swollen eyes. Her voice trembled as she spoke. Tell me what to do. The old man did not smile when she agreed. He simply nodded, as though he always knew the night would break her. He placed a small clay pot in her hands, warm, trembling, almost alive. When you return home, he said, stand before her photograph. Call her name 3 times. When the pot opens, her spirit will answer. Ninkem's throat tightened. And then what? You will not have to touch her. Her soul will walk into the offering itself. That cold, detached assurance should have frightened her. Instead, it soothed her, because it made the sin feel clean. Cynthia drove her back in silence. Only when they reached her apartment did she speak. Once you do this, she whispered, there is no turning back. But Ninkem had already crossed the line miles ago. That night, the room felt too bright. The photograph of her mother, smiling, hopeful, burned into her eyes. She knelt before it, her hands shaking violently as she held the clay pot. Mama? The name felt heavy, unfamiliar. She called again and again. On the 3rd call, the pot cracked with a soft hiss. A wind that wasn't wind brushed her face. A warmth that wasn't warmth filled the room. Then it happened. A soft glow rose from the pot. Tender, gentle, comforting. A glow that made Ninkem's heart twist painfully because it felt like love. Her mother's love. Forgive me, Ninkem whispered, though she didn't stop. The pot opened wider. The light pulled inward, fading, swallowing itself. And then darkness. Total suffocating darkness. The ritual was complete. The next morning, Ninkem waited for the miracles. She waited for credit alerts. She waited for clients to call. She waited for doors to open. Nothing happened. Hours passed, then days, then weeks. Her friends began to avoid her. Her phone died from lack of messages. Her beauty dulled. Her money finished. Her fake confidence crumbled. Every blessing she expected scattered like dust. She returned to the old man in anger. You lied. Nothing has changed. The old man simply looked at her. Not every sacrifice brings wealth. Some bring judgment. Judgment, she echoed. He nodded. Your mother's spirit did not fight you. That is true. But she did not bless you either. She chose another path. What path? Ninkem cried. The old man stood. Go home. You will understand soon. When Ninkem reached her apartment, everything was wrong. Her room felt colder. Her shadows felt longer. Her heartbeat echoed like footsteps. That night, she dreamed of her mother for the first time in years. But the dream was not peaceful. Her mother stood in front of her wearing the same wrapper she sold at the market. Her eyes were calm, too calm. Daughter, she said softly, you have chosen your path. Now walk it. Ninkem fell to her knees. Mama, I'm sorry. Please, please forgive me. Her mother touched her cheek. It burned. Not with fire, but with truth. In this world, she said, a child may forget her mother, but a mother never forgets her child. Even in punishment, I cannot destroy you, but neither can I allow you to continue in darkness. Ninkem's voice broke. Mama, what will happen to me? Her mother's voice was almost a whisper. You will live. but you will live long enough to feel everything you have done." From that day, Ninkem's life became a slow undoing. Every job she applied for rejected her. Every business she tried collapsed. Every friendship died before it began. But the worst punishment was this: her peace was gone. Not madness, not death, just a constant weight on her chest, a reminder of the woman she betrayed. Every dawn, she heard her mother's voice praying, not for her success, but for her repentance. Every night, she dreamed of the clay pot cracking open again. She wasn't cursed. She was held by a mother's hurt, not her hatred, held by a love that refused to vanish, even when she deserved it. In the end, Ninkem understood the cruelest truth: a mother's love will not kill you, but it will make you live with the consequences of breaking it. And that was the punishment she could never escape.